Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, pushing this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom, shalom. This is your brother Kwame Wath with the Great Millstone Charlotte Camp, coming with another quick lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And this morning, I just wanted to touch on this article, man, because as brothers have said in the chat, these all these different failures, of various banking apps, various bank collapses and things of that nature, they put these articles like this out in order to prepare the minds of the people, to ultimately take the MOTB, man, right? We see FedNow is about to launch, in the next coming few days. So they're grooming them up, to take the FedNow or be accepting of the FedNow, which is ultimately going to be making them accepting the MOTB, man, when those charagmas start rolling out, right? Because all that centralized system is going to be tied to the charagma, man, that implantable buy or sell device, But just reading this real quick, because they're using these tactics, in order to feign safety, man. They're saying it's not safe to keep your money here. It's not safe to do these things, man. Right? And that's what they're gonna present, ultimately the MOTB as, man. That salvation, right? But just touch on this real quick. It reads: storing money in PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App carries hidden risk, right? And we just had the Cash Apps where a bunch of people's accounts got deleted, right? So now they're telling you that there's risk in keeping your money in these various systems, man, right? It says Consumer Financial Protection Bureau looked at key government protections for your funds in apps like PayPal. Mobile payment apps like PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App have exploded in popularity in the last several years. Let me jump down to the point. Here we go. It says, however, recent bank and crypto exchange failures highlight the risk of keeping your funds in accounts that exceed or simply lack FDIC insurance coverage. A recent report from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau cast a spotlight on deposit risk among popular mobile payment apps, while explaining how consumers can hedge their risk of a collapse, right? And how they're ultimately pushing that FedNow system, man, right? They said hedge your risk, protect your money, by going ahead and being accepting of this, man, right? But that's the point on that, man. They're grooming the people, right? You go into this word groom, it reads to prepare or ready someone for a particular role or job. And what are they preparing you for, man? Ultimately, to get that device put inside you, right? They're going to present it as some type of savior. People going to run to it, man, right? When they don't have access to their money, when they can't do certain things, when the conveniences, of this modern life, get taken away, they're going to do everything in their power to get back to some type of normalcy, man. And we saw that with the jabs, right? And now we're about to see that, with the FedNow system and then ultimately the MOTB, man, right? Now, also, I wanted to get this because grooming, is another predatory style, that these Edomites use, man, or these pedophiles, right? But this is exactly what they're doing to the people, right? It says, this says child grooming, but it's just grooming in general, right? It says the constellation of psychological manipulations. What are they doing? They're manipulating the people, right? And actions taken by a predatory adult. And who is the predator, man? Esau, Edom, right? This whole beast system, right? Or the predators. It says meant to reduce a child's fears and inhibitions And what are they trying to do, man? They're trying to get the minds of the people used to, being accepting of this digital change, man. Right? To go completely cashless. That's why the whole system, you don't even use cash anymore. It's damn near impossible to use cash anywhere, right? So they're taking away the fears and inhibitions of the people. It says, as a prelude to sexual abuse or exploitation by the predator or his or her associates, right? And they're about to exploit, the masses, man, right? That's why, you know, uh, us being likened to the Lord's woman, we have to cry out, right? Because they're about to abuse and exploit 2/3, man. But they're not crying out, right? They're not going to receive that protection, because they're being accepting of these things. But that is the grooming that's going on, in the midst of all this system, man, right? So it says, just reading it again, the constellation of psychological manipulations and actions taken by a predatory adult meant to reduce a child's fears and inhibitions as a prelude to sexual abuse or exploitation by the predator or his associates. So this is what they're doing, man. They're grooming the people, to take away those inhibitions, to take away those fears, and for them to be completely accepting of whatever they bring forth, man. Right? And as brothers were going into, that's also going to go into when they shut down the power grid, right? The internet is off, right? People are going to be in a state of desperation, and they're going to be looking for any way out, and they're going to present this MOTB as a save all, cure all situation, man. Right? Now let's go ahead and get some scriptures. Uh, you know. This is Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16. And it reads, and he causeth both small and great. He causeth all, Salakia, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, right? So everybody, and part of him doing that causeth, right? Is them making these things law, right? They constituting the requirements of you having these things or having this thing, right? It's like it. It says that he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that word mark going into what? The charagma, man, right? That implantable buy or sell device, right? And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name, right? So we go back into that grooming, right? They're presenting this as in the name of safety, right? So the people are less apprehensive about what's happening. So they're gonna take part in this FedNow system, right? So now all their finances are gonna be tied into the government, right? And then they're gonna present them with the MOTB, right? That charagma is gonna be brought out, right? So they're gonna say, look, now you have no access to your money, right? Get this, and everything's gonna go back to normal, right? This is gonna save you. This is what they're presenting to the world, but they're doing things slowly. It's happening quickly, but they're taking their time right now, to get the minds of the people more accustomed. Right, going back to that grooming, man. Right. It says that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark of the beast, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Right, so that child size stigma, right? This is their ultimate plan, right? Everything we see leading up, all the articles you see talking about the downfall of independent banks, everything that They try to convince the people, it's unsafe or insecure, right? They're doing all these things in the name of control, man, right? And ultimately to lead people down that path to taking the charagma, right? Now let's get this here. I think it's Deuteronomy 15. Salakia. Let me just look it up. Salakia. 15 and 17. This is Deuteronomy chapter 15 and verse 17. And it reads, "Then thou shalt take an awl," right? And this is what they use to, what's the word? To show ownership, of a slave, right? "And thrust it through his ear unto the door, and he shall be thy servant forever. And also into thy maidservant thou shalt do likewise." And that's what we're about to see, the digital awl, right? That word charagma going to the root word charax, which is something that goes inside, man, right? Or a palisade. If you look at any type of medieval or war movies, those sticks that are stuck inside the ground, right? Actually, let's go get that. I don't want to. Be misspeaking. Right, so this is the word charagma. It says a stamp and printed mark, which we know it says something that goes inside. A mark stamped on the forehead, the right hand is a badge of followers of the Antichrist, which, right, as scriptures say, there are many Antichrists, man, right? A thing carved, sculpture, graven work, and is being cut inside, man, right? Going into this word here, the karax. It says a pale or stake, a palisade. Now, if you look at this word palisade, it says wooden fence or wooden stakes or iron railings fixed in the ground, and they have to be stabbed into the ground, man. Right? I wish they had some pictures. But you get the point, right? It's something that's been stuck inside of you, just like that all is stuck inside, the slave, man. And that's what they want. They want you to give yourself over to be slaves to Esau's system, and they want you to become slaves to the beast, right? They want you to forsake Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, right? And as you read in Revelation 14th chapter, man, anyone who takes this thing is going to suffer the wrath of the Lord, man, right? So it's of utmost importance to understand that this is what you're avoiding right here, man. Right? You're avoiding taking this thing at all costs. But as we see them going back to that grooming, right? They're trying to take the people's inhibitions about it away. They're trying to take people's fears about it away, right? They're saying this is much safer than the current system, right? And that's what they've been doing, conditioning the minds of the people, man, right? Let me go back to that real quick, that grooming, because this is what they're doing, man, right? Take the child aspect out of it, but this is exactly the actions of them, man. It says the constellation of psychological manipulations, right? This is all a psyop, right? A psychological operation, right? But they're to manipulate the minds of the people, select it, the minds of the people, right? And actions taken by a predatory adult, Esau, Edom, right? They're the predator of the whole earth, right? It says meant to reduce a child's fears and inhibitions, right? This is what they're doing, man. And the majority of people are going to fall victim to this, man, right? It says as a prelude to sexual abuse or exploitation by the predator or his or her associates. So this is a prelude to the abuse and exploitation, of the people, namely you Israelites, man, you blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, Hispanics, West Indians, right? You Israelites, are who they're attempting to abuse and exploit, man, right? And that's why we're crying out, right? Because he's trying to defile the Lord's woman. You read into Deuteronomy's 22nd chapter, man, right? The maid that didn't cry out is put to death, just as the perpetrator, the male, right? But the maid that does cry out is saved, man, right? And this is why brothers harp on the MOTB so diligently, because this is the end all prophecy, man, right? If you take this, it's over, so that's why you keep hearing it over and over and over, repetitive, right? Because prophecy is repetitive. You have to to warn somebody, you have to continually do it, man, right? You can't just tell somebody one time and expect it, to stick. Sometimes it does, but the majority of the time it won't, right? You have to continually keep hammering it home, especially to Jake, because they are a stiff-necked people, right? So it's about, a constant flow of information coming out about all these things. And through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, we've been given the understanding of how to break these things down, man, and to present them to the people so that they have that proper warning, man, right? And we all have the same grace period and to get right. But this time is getting ever more short, man. We're every day we get closer and closer. It's like it to the end of Esau's kingdom, man, right? And to ultimately coming into great tribulation and trials, and the mark of the beast is a pivotal point, of prophecy, right? So that's why you see us going into it the way we do. You see brothers every day. It's mark of the beast videos coming out. Why? Because it's important. It has to be said. There's new information, about the beast system coming out every day. Let me get this in Revelation 14 real quick. 14 and I'll start in 9. It's in Revelation chapter 14 and verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, right? So this system, right? The people are in love with the Babylonian system, the ways of the world, right? All these things that are presented to you, the comforts, the conveniences, right? The customs, right? People love this shit, man, right? It says, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark, right? So if you even receive it, you take it in any shape, form, or fashion. If that thing goes inside your body, what's happening? In his forehead or in his hand, which it could be anywhere, right? It's not exclusive to the forehead or the hand. These are just, the hot spots, right? The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So you're going to take part in that second death if you receive this thing, man, right? You're going to receive the full torments, the full indignation and rage of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man, right? But this is what they're grooming people to be accepting of, man. The same way they groom people to be accepting of this alphabet agenda, right? As the brothers say, the LMNOP people, right? The rainbow mafia. The way they groom people into be accepting of this, they're starting to groom people to be accepting of a new uh, um, currency system, man. Right? A new financial system, right? And that's why you see out of nowhere all these little independent banks are starting to fail, and right when the Fed now is supposed to start ramping up, right? And once they get people onto the Fed now, then they're gonna start trying to get people ready for the charagmas, man. They're all taking steps, right? Everything leads to the charagma, man. Everything that you see happening is taking steps towards the mark of the beast, you know? And they're just grooming the minds of the people, preparing you. Let's go back to that, right? We'll close out. It says grooming or child grooming, but it says child grooming, the constellation of psychological manipulations and actions taken by a predatory adult meant to reduce a child's fears and inhibitions. What's that word inhibitions mean? Inhibitions. Let's see. The act of inhibiting something that restrains, blocks, or suppresses. Psychology, conscious or unconscious restraint of a behavioral process, desire, or impulse. Right. So they're trying to take away the impulse, your mind's, your spirit, really, right, telling you what's right and what's wrong. They're trying to take that away, right? And that's what they do through, all their as the scriptures say, their words are soft as oil, but war was in his heart, right? This is what they're doing. The psychological manipulations and actions taken by a predatory adult meant to reduce a child's fears and inhibitions as a prelude to sexual abuse or exploitation by the predator or his or her associates. And Esau Edom is that predator, man, right? Let's close with this. 2 Corinthians. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, man. Right? We're not ignorant of his devices, man. We're not ignorant of his psyops, his psychological manipulations, right? His fear tactics, right? We're not ignorant to these things, and that's why we have to continue to teach and share, with the body, with each other, right? So that brothers is informed. You sisters too. But the believers are informed of these things that are happening, and that we can prepare ourselves in the spirit, to be ready to deny, right? To be ready to lose, right? Because they're not gonna force you, they're not gonna pin you down and put the charagma in you, right? They're gonna present it, in a way that it's your only option out. But that's a faithless, a faithless system, man. Which Esau Edom is a faithless being, right? It's not a spiritual bone in it. But when you believe, when you have faith in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, you can be, saved out of everything, man. Right? So we're not worried about what they can do and what they will do. Right? Our trust is in the Lord. And that's it. Right? In the NLT it reads, so that Satan will not outsmart us, right? He's not gonna outsmart the elect. Lord willing we be of that number, right? For we are familiar with his evil schemes. We're familiar with his evil schemes, man. Starting with our elders and apostles on down, man. The Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, has given us the understanding, to be able to sift through, all the distractions, the various psyops, right? The various things that are meant to pull your attention away, and we can see, the world for what it truly is, man. We can see Esau Edom, his true intentions, right? through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai, right? So we're not going to be overtaken, as a thief or in that day, man, right? You know. Let me see. Do I have anything else? Let's get this real quick, and then we'll close. Is it? I think it's Second Thessalonians. This is Second Thessalonians, chapter 2, and I'll start in. I'll start in verse 8. I'll start in this Second Thessalonians 2 and 8 in the NLT. It reads, "Then the man of lawlessness will be revealed, but the Lord Yahweh Shai will kill him with the breath of his mouth and destroy him by the splendor of his coming." Because when the Lord comes, ain't no more talking, man. It's all action, right? He's talking through his prophets, right now, right? It says, this man will come to do the work of Satan. Esau Edom is, the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, man, right? This man will come to do the work of Satan with counterfeit power and signs and miracles, fake power, right? And that's part of what they're going to present with this MOTB. It's like it can help you walk again. It can help you see again, right? It's going to save your money. It's going to save your relationship with your family. All these things are what they're going to present this device, as, man, right? And we're seeing the financial aspect of it being implemented, right? Going back into that grooming, is getting the people more comfortable with these things, taking place. It says, he will use every kind of evil deception, right? But we're not ignorant to his devices, right? It says he will use every kind of evil deception to fool those on their way to destruction, because they refuse to love and accept the truth that would save them. But we have not refused, man, right? We're accepting Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. The masses are refusing the Lord, man, right? So they're going to fall victim to these deceptions. They're going to fall victim to that destruction. And Lord willing, we endure, that we can be redeemed and have that mercy, from the Lord, man, right? Verse 11, so the Most High will cause them to be greatly deceived, right? And part of that deception is them thinking that this is going to be, the cure-all, right? Now I have access to my money again. I have access to my life, right? And we understand these things are coming because we see how attached these people are to this world, man, right? So because ultimately they're going to take everything from people, man, right? They're not going to just let you continue to live this life, or this free lifestyle, man, right? They want complete control. But the people don't understand this, man. So when they give over that control, then they're never going to get it back, right? It says, so the Most High will cause them to be greatly deceived, and they will believe these lies. Then they will be condemned, right? That Revelation 14, for enjoying evil rather than believing the truth, right? So, hey, believe this truth, man, right? Understand what's being presented to you, believe that this is the MOTB, man. Don't listen to anyone who says otherwise, right? Because if you take it, that's it, man. There's no there's no repenting from it, right? From taking this device, you're gonna receive the judgment of the Lord, man, right? You're gonna be condemned. Instead of enjoying, it's like instead of believing the truth, you're enjoying evil, man. The comforts and what's the word? Conveniences of evil, right? Instead of believing the truth, and we understand 2/3 ultimately are going to fall into that lot. But we have to continue to pray, that we are counted worthy, to to escape these days, man, right? Because that MOTB is coming, man. We see the system, the grooming, right? The conditioning of the minds of the people, to be accepting of it, man, right? And we got to continue to pray that we can endure, right? Because this is going to be a test unlike any other. This is Luke 21:36. Watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man, right? So we continue to watch and pray, that we may be accounted worthy, man. We're watching the prophecies come to pass, and reporting these things, to you brothers and sisters out there, man, right? But, I think that's the point. Through the Spirit and power, how about you, I pray that lesson was edifying. Well, I want to close by giving all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. And peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, pushing this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom and shalom. Wa Kwam Yasharala. Wa Abad Babal, man. Hey, DTA soon. We almost home. Shalom.